Well, greetings. I'm going to continue on with my quotes, echoes, excerpts, references, whatever you want to call them. A wife says, I hope that I die first. I would not want to have you go before me. And the husband replies, Me too. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wise people are so full of doubts. And that's Bertrand Russell. A CJ asks, Do you understand what the word no means? And James Bond replies, No. A sucker says, Is this a game of chance? To which W.C. Fields says, No, not the way I play it. And Cloud 9 gets all the publicity, but Cloud 8 is actually cheaper, less crowded, and has a better view. That's from George Carlin. And I'll have to visit Cloud 8 pretty soon. Reality is a clutch for people who can't cope with drugs, and that's from Robin Williams. I'm a great housekeeper. I get divorced, I keep the house. Zsa Zsa Gabor. And here's to women. Would that we could fall into their arms without falling into their hands. And that's from Ambrose Bierce. And I can relate to that one. Smart. Now, there's a dumb word. What does it mean to say that someone is smart? You could be brilliant in one arena and a total idiot in another. Some of the smartest people in the world are homeless, in prison, or working in gas stations. And that's unknown. I think the person who coined this should make his name known. The definition of love, according to Ambrose Bierce, a temporary insanity curable by marriage. And I've had a perfectly wonderful evening, but this wasn't it. Groucho Marx. I never married because there was no need to. I have 3 pets at home which answer the same purpose as a husband. I have a dog which growls every morning, a parrot which swears all afternoon, and a cat that comes home late at night. That's from Marie Corelli. I volunteered for the Alzheimer's disease interventional study at Yale University of Medicine. And after several tests and interviews, they discovered that I don't have Alzheimer's, but they did conclude that I'm stupid and that my IQ is about 75. And I replied by saying, well, it's 75. That's not bad, right? Sounds pretty good. There is no such thing as fun for the whole family. Jerry Seinfeld. Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Malcolm S. Forbes. And you have a right to kill me, but you have no right to judge me. And that's Walter Kurtz from the movie Apocalypse Now. And not only do I not know what's going on, I wouldn't know what to do about it if I did. That's George Carlin. A teacher affects eternity. They can never tell where their influence stops. That's from Henry Adams. And this is one of my favorite quotes. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. That's from Mark Twain. They're completely incompatible, so marriage is inevitable. Gore Vidal. A clear conscience is usually a sign of bad memory. Stephen Wright. A drunk was in front of a judge. The judge says, you have been brought here for drinking. And the drunk says, well, let's get started. That's from the Catskills Comedians. Theory is important, at least in theory. That's from Keith Martin. And why do Jewish men want to die before their wives? Because they want to. Henny Youngman. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man or woman. And that's from George Bernard Shaw. When the doctor called Mrs. Lieberman to tell her that the check came back, she replied, so did my arthritis. That's another Catskill classic. When I get through with you, you'll have a clear case for divorce, and so will my wife. That's from Groucho Marx. The universe consists of 5% protons, 5% neutrons, 5% electrons, and 85% morons, according to Frank Zappa. I joined Gamblers Anonymous. They gave me 2-to-1 that I wouldn't make it. Rodney Dangerfield. Biographies are but the clothes and buttons of the person. The actual biography of the person himself cannot be written. It's from Mark Twain. And seriousness is the only refuge of the shallow. Oscar Wilde. And you see a lot of smart guys with dumb women, but you hardly ever see a smart woman with a dumb guy. And that's from Erica Zhong. And by the way, my wife is the exception to the latter part of that statement, which means that she married a dumb guy. There's one question you can never get rid of. Where the hell did the universe come from? I mean, we can't fathom the multitude of our universe. We don't even know how many other universes are out there. It boggles the mind because it had to start somewhere, somehow. These questions and thoughts on our universe astound us, such as how did the universe come to be if there was a big bang, and how did something so small as a tiny dense fireball turn into the universe or universes of this magnitude? It's absurd, preposterous. It just doesn't make sense, despite all that we do know. The concept of the universe is daunting. And one last thought on the universe, it's quite astonishing. And this was my little story on the universe. Tell him I've been too fucking busy, or vice versa, which translates to too busy fucking. And surprisingly, a woman wrote this, Dorothy Parker. I could be wrong, but I'm not. And that's from the Eagles song, Victims of Love. And I didn't really say everything I said. And that's from Yogi Berra. That's worth repeating. I didn't really say everything that I said, Yogi Berra, and I'm out.